Hey, Wolfgang, you're first in the house. Happy Valentine's Day. Saturday, February 14th in Dumaguete, Philippines. Happy Valentine's Day. It started out very sunny this morning, and then the clouds came in out of nowhere. I'm not anticipating any rain, but you never know. It's possible. It's like, I don't know, 85 degrees, I think it says 85. It's definitely hotter today, you can tell. Again, though, the heat doesn't really bother me. But I hope all is well, Wolfgang. Nice to see you again. Like I said, it's not... Like I said, there were no clouds earlier, but I think it should be okay. Hello, Josh. How you doing, Josh? Happy Valentine's Day, as they say. February 14th, Dumaguete, Philippines. And Derek's here. Hey, Derek, welcome from Hawaii. It's funny, though, when I hear that you're from Hawaii, I'm like, you're living the good life as well. You're living the good life, too, but happy Valentine's Day. Of course, I'm laced up. You know me. Happy Saturday. How's everybody doing? Good then, I guess? Michael Hunter says, how are you doing? I'm doing good, Michael. From one Michael to another. There's always a lot of Michaels. Today, there's no rain for now. It's been so strange, like more rain than normal lately, with the exception of right now and today. That's why like my live streams have been hit or miss lately. I wanted to do Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and then the rain. Yeah, I could do a live stream in the rain, but just not an ideal situation, but I appreciate it. Jason's here. Hey, Jason. Yeah, see, Derek, that's the only thing. Like, Hawaii, I would join you, but I couldn't afford to live in Hawaii. But, yeah. I mean, I could say I'm jealous. I mean, I would love to visit Hawaii someday. I mean, yeah, you're right, expensive as hell. I think it's a little out of too strong for me, my comfort zone. But welcome, guys. I appreciate you being here. Again, Saturday afternoon, 12:25, walk and stream. Again, my apologies for not being consistent. The weather hasn't been ideally consistent at all. But we'll see today. I mean, it's cloudy right now, but I think we should be okay. Lots of people out. Like, I felt like the traffic, not right here, but the traffic seemed just as heavy as, my gosh, maybe like before Christmas. A lot of people are out for Valentine's Day shopping. So, so Jason's in Leyte. All right, that's awesome to hear. Wolfgang says, mostly good. I lack of sleep and feel tight chest. Well, I hope you're going to be all right. I appreciate you being here. There's a lot of people out selling flowers and stuff. I'm more of a one rose kind of person. I think over the years, I just felt like I'd rather if I'm going to get Valentines for somebody, I would rather get them chocolate or take them out to dinner, obviously. And then like, I don't know, the whole flower thing is very expensive. And I just think sometimes for me, it's like overblown. I know it's one day of the year, but it's almost like people give people flowers. Beautiful flowers, roses can be expensive, and then you end up throwing them in the trash after a couple days. And it's like, I'd rather get somebody a plant that they can plant in the ground and it comes back every year. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I'm like a one rose kind of person. I think giving one rose says everything. Plus the words, I love you. I don't think anything can describe how you feel about someone other than obviously what you say. Stacy says, Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Stacy. Welcome. Derek says, but being retired military, I can grocery shop in military commissary cheaper. Well, that sounds really good. But as I was saying too, like there's a lot of people selling flowers today all along, which I think is kind of neat just to see it. Valentine's Day is a very big day here in the Philippines. Last year was my first time experiencing Valentine's Day. This year is my second go around. B Pish or something says, where is this? This Dumaguete, Philippines, and Valentine's Day. Everybody's out selling their Valentines. Kind of wherever they can find a spot, like a corner to put stuff. That's where they kind of have their like displays of flowers and stuff. Mayong Mudto. I have to remember that. Sometimes I forget. 12 to 1. I lose track of time. Is good afternoon is Mayong Mudto. Until after 1, then it's Mayong Hapon. Michael, your vlog is one of the only one that doesn't eat out much. How much is your food budget? That's difficult to answer. Certainly don't eat out much. Man, I have to put some thought into that. That's not the easiest question to answer, Ricky. I mean, trying to think what we spent on a kilo of ground beef the last time. I think it was 500 and something pesos for a kilo of ground beef. And then chicken for a kilo was like 400 something, but it varies. It depends. If you get boneless, obviously it's more expensive, or and then if you get boned, it's more. I don't really pay attention to that much when it comes to grocery shopping, because my girlfriend kind of does it more often than I do. But if I remember correctly, the ground beef was like 500 and maybe 550 or something like that for a kilo. But that was like the premium ground beef, I think. And then, like I said, the chicken, I think she got boneless the last time. That was slightly cheaper, like 400 something. Derek said Gino is frugal too. But I do go out to eat. I just don't, I don't post, like, it's hard to do a live stream sometimes when you're in a restaurant because the signal isn't always that great. It's kind of hit or miss. But I do have my favorite restaurants, but I only have like so many that are my favorite. Mayong Mudto. Yeah, I only have so many that are like my favorite. So I don't go out to that many different restaurants. I just prefer to eat at home. I even did that in the States though. I ate a lot. I ate out or ate indoors, stayed home, cooked my own food. I always just think it's better. Do buy the ground beef at Robinson's. Yeah, I go to Robinson's. Sometimes I get it at Belchrist, that other place I mentioned. But a lot of times, sometimes it's frozen, like they're already made into the hamburger patties, like Angus or something different. So a lot of times, I'll just buy it frozen. But you get more bang for the buck when you go to the Robinson's grocery store. DJ Kirby Puckett's here. Hey, DJ, what's up? Brown said Dumaguete, Philippines. Yeah, like I said, now the sun's out. It looks much nicer. Much nicer. Hey, Mayong Mudto. Hello. Hi. Happy Valentine's Day. See, they got a lot of Valentine stuff though. Lots of Valentines. balloons. Indira says hello and nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Happy Valentine's Day. What city? Tone 35. Dumaguete, Philippines. Dumaguete, Philippines. Mayong Muto. DJ says, I have a flight to get to Manila in about 6 weeks. That sounds... Mayong Muto. No, thank you. And see, I already bought my flowers already, so I feel bad when they're trying to sell me flowers, and then I already got some for Che earlier. I gave her rose this morning. Jason says, it's just Bisaya, Philippine Bisaya. Like what I'm saying is Mayong Muto, which is good afternoon from 12 o'clock until 1 in the afternoon is Mayong Muto. And then after the 1 o'clock, it's still good afternoon, but it's Mayong Hapon. Let me... Yeah, bees popping. Yeah, like I said, I was mentioned earlier. Hello, bees popping. I'm a single rose kind of guy. I'm, not that I've never given. Like last year for my first Valentine's with Che, I did give her a big bouquet of flowers. But I'm typically, that was her first time with me for Valentine's. But I'm typically, I think a single rose says a lot more than a whole bouquet. But that's just me. Xbox Master, hey, says, hey, Mike, you're early walking today. How you doing? I'm good. The sun's out. It's a beautiful day right now. That's the best part about it. Hey, Mayong Muto, amping. It's like, this rain has been kind of wild. Like, I don't know. For technically, I guess I don't know if it's still considered rain season now, but I feel like we've gotten more rain the last few weeks than I remember during all of rain season. Hopefully it comes to an end. I'm ready for just like no rain, dry, Mayong Muto. But that's what I'm hoping for. Just more dry, consistent. But yeah, it's nice today. Yesterday, not so nice. A lot of the days aren't very nice. Not nice enough to do a live stream anyway. So, like I said, if I can't do it a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, I just bump it to another day, which today worked out well. Merlady says hi. Beers says, got snow coming here in Southern Cal next week. Is SCal, SoCal, you're talking Southern California's got snow? Wow. Miss Stacy says, hello, my friend. Hello, Miss Stacy. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And thank you for being here. Jason says it's been raining here too. Today is nice though. I just, I get happier when it's sunshine. Obviously you can't control the weather when it rains, but it was wild. Like I said, all through rain season here in Dumaguete, it felt like there was definitely more sunshine than rain. And I'm like, oh, this is good. I'll take the sunshine over rain during rain season. And then, I don't know, we're in the new year, we're in February already, and I just felt like we were getting more rain than before. Merlady says, happy Valentine's Day. Jason says, I'm still adjusting to Philippine time zone. I'm trying to remember, how long did it take me to adjust? The first time I came here, I'd say I felt normal. At probably between a week and 2 weeks, I started feeling a little normal. My energy levels, the first time I came here, my energy levels definitely were not where they normally are. And I just didn't feel motivated. And then I'd say between the first and second week, then I started getting my walking in and then felt like I had more energy. And so, yeah, it was probably like 2 weeks. But then the second time when I came back, I got lucky because basically you sleep on and off when you're on such a long flight. And then when I got to Cebu on my return, it was like real late at night, almost 11 o'clock at night. So that worked out where it wasn't daylight and I went right to sleep. I took a shower and then went right to sleep. So that kind of got me already into the groove of things. I'd say within the first week. Mayong Muto. Amping. Yeah, Dubes is back. Hello, Dubes. Yeah, it was like the jet lag. It wasn't... Mayong Muto. It wasn't that bad the second time around. Like I said, I think it helps when you come late at night and then you just force yourself to go to sleep. But then if you come here when it's daylight, like I did my first time, I did simply just stay awake. No matter how tired I was, I just said, all right, I'm staying awake, whatever time it is here. I just stayed awake. What time is it for you, says Anthony. Right now it's 12:39 p.m. in the afternoon, Dumaguete, Philippines. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day in the Philippines. TNT says, what up, homeboy? Ty Woods from Redondo Beach, California. New to your channel. What city do you reside in the Philippines? I'm in Dumaguete City. And welcome, Ty Woods. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines. Beautiful day today, actually. I'm so thankful for the sunshine, and we've had a lot of rain lately. And today is off to a good start. Hot, a little bit of humidity. It's not too bad. It's a little hot. Probably because of all the rain is why the humidity is a little higher. Steve Bryan says, hello, Michael. My friend, today looks like a brighter, sunnier day there. 50 degrees in Ohio. 2 degrees last week. Yeah, Steve, I remember talking to my parents last week in Pennsylvania, and they were saying, yeah, around the same temperature as you. And I was like, I don't miss that stuff at all. Even with the rain here, I'll take the rain in the warm climate versus anything cold. Daryl, hold on. Daryl Johnson says, hello again, my brother, living the dream. Yeah, I feel like it's better, more like the dream today with the sun shining. Like I said, I don't like getting cooped inside. I walk out in the rain as much as I can, but sometimes when your shoes just get saturated, loaded with water, it's not very comfortable on the feet. But yeah, it's much nice. Mayong Muto. Happy Valentine's Day. Mayong Muto. Hey, Mayong Muto. Mayong Muto. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Mayong Muto. Yeah, I kind of did think that, but you said the flip-flop season definitely would help. I don't know how good I would do walking 10 miles in flip-flops. My feet would probably be hurting, maybe even some blisters. Lenolin Somo says, I walk going to my dress shop. I come from duty, Mayong Odto Po. Thank you for coming here, Lenolin or Lena Lynn. Lynn Angel says, hello, Michael and Che. Cold Beer asks if there's movie theaters. Yeah, there's movie theaters here. I've only been to 2 here in Dumaguete. There's one in the Robinson Mall, and then there's one in the City Mall. I think I like the one in the City Mall better because I think it's more new, and the stadium seating's a little more better. It's one of the more advanced, newer movie theaters, but both of them are nice. But yeah, there's movie theaters, Robinson Mall here, and then City Mall, kind of like on opposite ends of the Dumaguete city. Marcy Villanueva says, Happy Valentine's Day to all. Lenilyn Somo says, yeah, I go to that place in the beach. Where do you go to the beach at? Like from here, I'd say the nicest beach is probably in Dowan, or, well, Sikihor. You can take a 30 to 40 minute boat ride to Sikihor. It's not too bad. Kevin says, are they pretty cool with Americans? Yeah, I'd say so. I think everybody's very, very nice here. That's one of the best things I love about the Philippines is the people. That's what makes it special. But no, they're super, super nice here. And it's like anybody. You're nice and respectful of somebody, they're going to treat you the same in return. But that's all I know, is just simply being kind and considerate and nice to people. I don't know any other way other than that. But yeah, I'd say they treat people very, very well here. Americans, anybody. I've never seen any issues. Lori says, what's the crime there? Lori, a lot of people ask this question. I don't know. I haven't had any problems with any crime. I haven't seen any things take place, maybe right place, right time. I've never seen anything. There's crime all over the world. I don't think you can avoid that. I just think that's just the way it is. But I feel perfectly safe here, happy here. See more of the Valentines, flowers everywhere. I always think that's so cool. I like seeing all the flowers. Lori says, seems safer there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I never feel uncomfortable at all. Everybody's very welcoming. But see, for me, being here, I'm always out and about trying to meet people as well. Like talk to people, if they say hello, strike up conversations with people. Like for me, if I'm gonna live here, to me it makes sense to embrace the culture, get to know people, have friends. I don't like isolate myself from the locals here. Yeah, that's just not who I am, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and like the different personalities in a different culture. I enjoy it. A lot of the security guards I know that work at the banks and stuff, actually they're off today. Saturday, they're not open. But I usually say hello to a lot of the people that work in the banks. John Vasquez says, hey, hello. Says, hello, John, my alien friend. Everyone in the street are talking to you. Here in America, people ignore you. Yeah, it's just so different, but it's refreshing here. Again, yeah, I'm experiencing things here. Like normally this bank, they're off today though, they're closed. But yeah, that's like I think that's what inspires me and makes me so happy here is I can meet people and they're always saying, not every single person, but for the most part, people are very friendly, saying hello. It's just different. Yeah, it's a definite good culture shock when you meet, just simply saying hello to somebody and getting, they smile, or that's just priceless in my opinion. Hard to get a driver's license, says cold beer. Honestly, I can't answer that question. I don't know how difficult it would be. I don't have one. Obviously, I walk everywhere. Now, at some point, if I ever want to rent a motorbike to travel outside the city, I'm going to have to probably get a license, and then I'll look into that. I've never heard anybody say it's difficult to do. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that. Mayong Moto. Hey. Happy Valentine's Day. Where is Augie?
Roman, your friend.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
A beautiful day today, no rain. Michael Danger, no, I don't even know where there is a cemetery here. I have no idea. So that wouldn't be me, Michael Danger. I only walk through the city and say hello to people and enjoy this beautiful Valentine's Day now here in the Philippines. I'm so happy that the sun is shining. Virtue says, where are you? I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines. Dumaguete, Philippines. Valentine's Day. And it feels good to be out and no rain for the time being. I try to get around, let me see. Yes, it is a beautiful day, finally today. It's perfect though, for Valentine's Day, the sun comes out. That's perfect. If you are new here and enjoying the stream, give him a like and follow to see where the walk's next. Yeah, I appreciate that. Anybody who's here, if you're new to the channel, I don't show my mug a lot just because it's boring. But my name is Michael, from the United States, born and raised in Pennsylvania. Lived there my entire life with the exception of 2 years. I lived in Florida, which I definitely prefer the warm weather of Florida, which explains why I'm here. I'd rather sweat my butt off than freeze my butt off. But I always say this, the real kicker, if I was still living in the United States, I'd still be working. I wouldn't have a choice. Financially, on my pension and my savings, I can afford to live here and be retired at 55, which I'm gonna be 56 in April. But yeah, I'm enjoying life and I'm happy. Simple life, and I'm blessed and thankful that I can do this now instead of, who knows when I'd be able to retire if I was still living in the States. I have no idea. No idea. The unknown. Virtue says, I just moved from Newton and now I love Florida, small world. Yeah, and I did, you know, like I said, if I was still in the States, I would hopefully still be living in Florida. The only thing is I'd still be working. So I definitely enjoy the opportunity that I have now, being able to be retired and do it while I'm still healthy, because tomorrow's not promised. I don't know what's gonna, could happen tomorrow, and having an unknown future of just working. For me in the States, and I don't know, planning for an unknown future. I don't know, I'm just glad I'm healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy, and able to do things now. It says, Florida, come on vacation. Look at all these balloons. Yeah, Valentine's Day is really neat here. Like I said, I gotta zigzag all over the place because sometimes there's just not any room even to walk on the sidewalks. But it's okay, I'm safe. You kind of just find a path and you take it. Over there is Quaison Park. This is the church. 1776, I'm pretty sure, was when this church was built on my right. Once I get around here, you'll be able to see it. But it is a very, very old church. St. Catherine of Alexandria. But yeah, 1776. There's no date on there, but yeah, that's the church. Sunny Boy's here. Says, hello, Michael. I hope you're having a great day walking and a happy Valentine's Day. Well, it's definitely better today because I'm not even soaking wet. Definitely better today. John Stevens said, you worked hard and saved for retirement. Good for you. Yeah. And once, like I said, going into this, I never knew that the cost of living was what it was here. As far as like, apartment rentals and house rentals, I never knew that. I didn't know that was an option, which kind of accelerated my choice. I figured I knew I enjoyed living here and I could do it. So yeah, prior to coming here, I didn't know that it was the cost of living was what it was. And then when I enjoyed it so much here, then that choice became very easy. Lynn Angel said, are you going to take Che out for dinner? Yeah, we're going to do dinner, but we're doing it on Monday. She is visiting her mother in Kandau. I gave her flower rose this morning, and then we're going to do dinner on Monday. She's visiting her mother, and I didn't want to, make it an inconvenience. There'll be plenty of people out for Valentine's Day. I don't have to worry. We can do it on Monday. Working says this looks like India. No, this is Dumaguete, Philippines. Everybody always asks me the prices on gas. $54, $55 for diesel, and Uni Saver Unlimited, I guess, yeah, $56.05. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the gas per liter. People always ask what gas is here. Merlady said that's a great idea. Thanks for showing the church. Well, yeah, and it's like really wild because it's built in 1776. That's a long time ago, and it's still standing. Seems like everything that they made a long time ago is everything that stands the longest. It's all the stuff they make newer now that this seems to not last very long. That was a friend of mine waving in his tricycle. But again, appreciate you guys being here. If you're new to the channel, all I simply ask for, and it's free, is to give me a double tap, thumbs up. The likes are priceless and help my channel grow. Seldom spoken on, but it's the Filipinos you will find in the hospice care and nursing the dying. Yeah. Honestly, if I had a choice between being in a nursing home in the States or being taken care of here by a Filipina, the choice would be maybe some people, all right, now maybe some people are gonna come back. Because just let me know how the audio and video is, anybody. All right, Ron Greer says, hi Mike, good to see you again. Mark Chat says hi. All right, so maybe my live stream's coming back to life again. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Sometimes these live streams, I think, have a mind of their own. Derek says, good now. Well, I'm gonna stay away from the lagging zone where I was earlier. I don't know what the heck. I've gone down that way before and never had issues, so I didn't know what was going to happen, but it's good. It's all good now, says Ron. TC6988 says all good. Merlady says I'm back. Derek says good now. Good. And hello, Marchall. All right. Now we're back. Hopefully we'll see. I don't know. Just when I think I know the areas to stay away from, then I get stuck. But welcome back. I appreciate it. And again, sorry. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Dumaguete, Philippines. Happy Saturday afternoon. It's 1:15 in the afternoon in Dumaguete, Philippines. Cloudy now. Hopefully not rain, but you never know. It's been raining a lot lately. All the Valentines flowers. Again, if you're new to my channel, my name's Michael, from the United States, living abroad here in the Philippines. From Pennsylvania, to be specific. Been here well over a year now. Like it a lot. Now we got Bill. 57 degrees here in Iowa, no snow or rain. That's a heat wave. I'd take 57. Even in Pennsylvania, I'd be happy with 57. Bill something, the science guy is here. It says Mr. Handsome. Who is the science guy? Gotta finish dinner. Have a great day. Take care, says Merlady. Thank you very much, Merlady. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties today. I appreciate you being here. Michelle Pelletier is here. Hello, Michelle. Happy Valentine's Day to you also. Much better right now. Earlier, I went through a disconnect lagging situation. Had to find the safe zone again. And here we are. I'm gonna try and stay away from the areas that disrupt the live stream. USA Today, Philippines, yes. Dumaguete, Philippines for USA Today, for better or for worse. Greetings from Spain, says Francisco. Wow, that's awesome. Greetings from Spain. Thank you for being here in Dumaguete, Philippines. Cloudy now, was sunny. Hopefully it won't rain again, but we'll find out. It's been hit or miss for the past, I don't know, I'd say a couple weeks. It's blue down towards the water, so I might end up making my way there again. Oh, I gotta get around this way. That's another thing. It's like you got sidewalks or you got the street. Pick your poison, I guess. Whatever gives you the path of least resistance. And there's Che there, says hello and happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, we were talking about Valentine's Day, Che. Oh, wow, Sean, that's a tough question. Overall, most economical. I have not even lived here long enough or have enough experience to even answer that question. Um, Honestly, I don't know. I've only lived here in Dumaguete and Colid. And I know I enjoy living here in Dumaguete better than McColid, but I can't answer that question. No idea on that one. Good afternoon, Jesus Graciano. Mayung hapon, happy Valentine's Day. See, look at all this, look. They got chocolate. See, this is what I like for Valentine's, candy. I'd take this instead of that. Candy's better. But that's pretty, yeah. See all the Valentines, thank you. I definitely prefer the chocolate or food. For me, anyway, over flowers. Calvin is out there with you also. Who is Calvin? USA Today. Who is Calvin? Well, that is if you consider women, transport, food, living, places, work. I don't know that. Yes, goodies are better. Yeah, like I said, I was talking about this earlier, Bill. Like for me, I just think the whole flower thing is a great gesture. But to me, I would rather give the significant other something other than flowers. Food, maybe if they like chocolate. Heck, even perfume would be better than, in my opinion, flowers. Unless you give them a plant that they plant in the ground and it grows back every year. Flowers, I don't know. What do they last? Maybe 5 days and then they're in the trash. That's just me, though. It just seems like flowers are so expensive. And then they don't last very long. Michael Hunter says, happy Valentine's Day to Che. USA Today, for better or for worse. I'd wear the white jacket. Michael, get her a mariachi and go to her place, serenade with music. I can sing. I can't play any instruments though. So I'd have to serenade just singing. No guitar, no piano. Yeah, see, Bill, that's kind of the way I think. I mean, again, some people, that's okay if you don't agree with that. I just think flowers are so expensive. They're beautiful, but then you give them away, and if you don't cut the stem right and water it, you're lucky if you get five days out of it. And for me, I don't know, that just doesn't seem very cost effective, even if it is only once a year. But now the sun's coming out. It always seems like it's better when I'm towards the water. The clouds go over the city. But yeah, the famous I love Dumaguete sign. Get her a puppy. No, thank you. I love pets. I don't have time for a pet. I love them, but I don't have time for a pet. I think, especially a dog, I think the dog needs a lot of attention. I mean, a dog would probably benefit itself with me because I walk a lot. But other than that, if you go away somewhere, then I gotta have somebody watch the dog. I just couldn't handle that. Yeah, Bill, it's just like I just don't want a pet to take care of. And now I understand when I was little and my parents never wanted me to have a pet because they said they would be the ones that would end up taking care of it. And they were absolutely right. I didn't understand that or want to believe that as a kid, but It's true. Trying to see if there's anything else. I only like goodies when I'm alone or with somebody. um, uh, get her a new car. Ay, ay, ay. No way. I don't even have a car for myself. I'm certainly not going to buy a car for anybody. Oh my gosh. I don't want anything. I don't want a car. I don't want a motorbike. Hold on. Now I got to see if I can see this. Michelle says, I will say that though, if you use half Sprite and half water in the vase and trim the stems every other day, about 1/2 inch flowers will last a long time. Yeah, I've heard people have tricks to doing it. And I guess if the stem's very long and when you cut a little bit off, I've always heard they say, cut the stem at an angle with scissors. But obviously you don't want to cut much of the stem off because the stem is only going to last you so long. But that's true. Do a boat getaway and have a meal on the sea. Yeah, we could do that. Or we could just get on the boat at the port, travel on the ocean jet, and then just go to Sikihor and eat somewhere over there. But yeah, we'll do something on Monday. Probably be easier anyway. I have 3 rescue dogs and I will never do it again because you can't go anywhere. And see, that's what I think. And you're living it, so yeah, I just don't, I don't want to have a pet just so I have to put it in like a kennel or something like that while I go away. Or, I mean, I guess if you're lucky, you have friends that are dog owners that can take care of your dogs or let them out to walk and go to the bathroom and stuff. But yeah, that's just too much work for me. Plus, I get really connected to animals too. I mean, when I was a kid, I had a hamster, 2 of them actually. And I don't know what, I was 11 or 12 years old. And then when it died, I was just trauma from a little hamster. I'm a very emotional person, I guess, when it comes to being connected to people. So for having a pet is also another reason why it probably wouldn't be good for me. Ka Single Vlog says hello. Sean Kern says downtown living conveniently walkable. Could someone find something basic like a 200 USD a month? Sean, I guess if you look around, I've heard some very inexpensive. Like there was one that was 13,650 pesos. I'm trying to even remember what that's equivalent to. You can find cheaper ones, but sometimes those are further away from the city. But get a motorbike and then you can travel. That's where your transportation is. For me, it's just more convenient for me to live here when walking around. Dumaguete looks fairly clean. I think it is. I mean, I think it's cleaner than what people say. I just think people are nitpicking sometimes just to find things wrong with some place. I mean, hell, I've walked places in the U.S. that I could probably say maybe need a little better trash cleanup. But I've seen improvements here in Dumaguete, but that's just my opinion. But again, Sean, you can find things. You just might be a little further away from the city. And if that's okay with you, then that would work out great. Again, I lived in Bannylad before, spent less than what I pay now. But I also walked from Bannylad too. You kind of just have to find what works for you. What's more convenient? Would you rather spend less money to be further away and then maybe have to get a motorbike or something like that, or a car maybe? I'm just glad I have a signal still. But I don't want to jinx myself either. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I appreciate you guys joining me on I guess it would be a Friday night for you guys on the East Coast in the US. Friday night. I'm sending wireless flowers. Yeah, like a digital flowers. Yeah, that's the gift that keeps on giving, Bill. Yeah. A digital one, or like I said, the wire. Hey, hello. Mayong hapon. Huh? Oh, yeah, hey, how are you, my friend? I'm walking, doing a live stream. All right, I'll talk to you later. Huh? Yeah, I remember you. Where am I? I live in Marina.
Marina?
Yeah, Marina Spatial, down by Silliman.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later. 11:29 p.m. for you. I bet e-bikes would be cool there. Yeah, see, an e-bike, yeah, I guess it would be a matter of, I guess, depending on where you lived and how you're like a charging station, like how do you do that? I mean, I don't know enough about e-bikes. Do you have to charge it right at the bike, or can you take the battery out and charge it like indoors and then bring it out? Because I don't know where I live, like if I'd be able to have an e-bike, like plug it in somewhere. Gwen says, hi, I'm still jealous but happy for you. You don't need to be jealous. People can be happy for you too. Maybe someday you'll make it happen for yourself, Gwen. You never know what tomorrow's gonna bring, although I always say just focus on today and don't worry about tomorrow. But all right, so Ron, there you go. Now you're educating me. This is what I like to see. Mine has a removable battery. Now, if it's a removable battery, that could be doable, like just about anywhere. You just put your e-bike wherever, take the batteries out to be charged, and in your house, and then you're good to go. I was thinking if you had to charge the e-bike outside, and if you don't have access to like an electrical outlet or an extension cord, so that makes things better knowing that. Sleepy Desk says, what province? I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines, Negros Oriental. Dumaguete, Philippines on Valentine's Day, 1:30 in the afternoon. Sean says, yes, your own e-bike home charge in USA. Public e-bikes have charged batteries. See, that would be okay. Like, I don't know what the speed of an e-bike is, but it's not like you really need to go that fast. What is like, maybe there's certain levels. See, I don't know a lot about bikes. I guess I've seen some e-bikes going, but they weren't going very fast. But again, I don't think you really need to go that fast. Yeah, driver Lamborghini. That'll never happen. I couldn't afford a Lamborghini anyway. Yeah, the days of me owning a car right now are over. When I'm back in the U.S. in March, I sold my car. I didn't like selling it because I never thought I've always thought I'd have a car. But I don't miss it actually at all. I really don't. I don't miss, no, I guess sometimes I miss driving, just racing around, but. See, Sean says 15 to 25 miles per hour. See, that would be more than enough. Just to get from point A to point B here. And like I said, not that there aren't people that don't race around a little bit here, but for the most part, the majority of people are not flying around. They're just driving average and very cautious, at least here in Dumaguete. I don't see any issues here. It definitely moves slower, but to me, it's not that big of a deal. I don't mind. I'm not in a hurry living here, and you can't be, because if you are, you're just going to stress yourself out. Is that a Nissan Silvia? I guess me. Down there, that white car is a Nissan. Looks like it's something Lancer. It's funny, you guys know about cars than I do. You are former U.S. cities? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. You are former U.S. cities. TC says, are going to be at or by a wedding event. Oh, where have I lived? Well, I was born and raised in Altoona, Pennsylvania, if you're familiar with Altoona, Pennsylvania. But I did live in Florida for almost just shy of 2 years. I always just simply say 2 years. I was short a couple months of 2 years living in Florida, which I definitely prefer to live in Florida. I'm a warm weather person. And if I was still living in the States, I would probably prefer to live in Florida. But as I tell everybody, if I was still living in the United States, I'd still be working. And I'd much rather be able to enjoy this now while I still have my health, because again, I don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. And I want to be physically and mentally healthy so I can enjoy doing things. It's great to save for things and plan a future retirement, but if you're not physically able to do things when you're retired, I don't think all that money really means a whole lot of anything. But that's just one person's opinion. Sean says, you're 50. Heck, I'm 55, Sean. I will be 56 on April 6th. So yeah, and then that's another thing. Like I said, I feel good now. I eat as healthy as I can. I obviously walk a lot, exercise a lot. But again, I can still be the healthiest person I want to be, but that doesn't mean I can't wake up tomorrow with some issue. You just don't know. And it was very easy for me to decide. Once I realized I enjoyed it here, I was learning about the new culture and the people here. It was very easy for me to decide, you know what, I can do this. I can make it work on my financial situation. And I came here. I did it. And I'm glad I did. I wouldn't be doing this if I was in the States. I'd be working. That's just the facts. Hey, Mayung Hapon. You're living the best life, Owen says. Well, the best life for me. I don't want to speak for everybody else, because just because I'm living the best life for me, my happy life, that doesn't mean it's for everybody. Mayung Hapon. All right, let me flip. You said, Greg Master says, walking around the lot is key. It has increased Japanese people's lifespans by a lot, including diet. Well, there you go, Greg. That doesn't surprise me. I didn't specifically know that as it pertains to Japanese, but it doesn't surprise me. I've been walking a lot for many years. I know how I feel. I don't feel tired or exhausted. Makes you breathe better, and I don't know how to explain it. Just gives me, the more I walk, the more energy I get. Bill says, I'm 71 and still have to work. See there, and again, I wish you didn't have to say that, Bill, that you're 71 and you still have to work. everybody's got to do what they got to do, and I don't know what your situation is, but I can't imagine myself being 71 and still having to work. Even if I was the healthiest person. Yeah, they do have watermelon around here. But yeah, you can get watermelon. Just saw that. Debbie Lucero says, hello, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Happy Valentine's Day from Dumaguete, Philippines. TC says, enjoy while you can and have fun doing it. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I am. I'm happier, stress-free. I don't, I certainly don't feel this amount of stress that I felt when I was back at home in the States. Hey, my own hapon. There's always something I had to worry about in the States. There's always this stress. But here it's so different. No, I'm good. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. They were offering me some food. They're so nice. They're my friends. They're very nice, very generous. And that's another thing I love here. Like I said, I always talk about it and preach it to death, but the people here, especially here in Dumaguete, are so generous, so kind, so loving, so hospitable, giving. It's just incredible. It's a humbling experience being here in the Philippines. So you transferred FedEx location? Yeah, when I was working, I did transfer. Hey, yeah. Friends of mine. I'm always running into somebody. But yeah, I was living in Pennsylvania, and then when I went to Florida, I transferred with my work. So yeah, living in Florida, Palm Beach. I was working out of Palm Beach International Airport with FedEx when I was living in Florida. But yeah, that's when I had that nice opportunity and a job opening came available. I had the seniority at the time. So yeah, a lot of people wanted that job in Florida. That's where the seniority paid off. Being with FedEx for such a long time allowed me to transfer and outbid other people. Because Palm Beach International Airport, the FedEx there was a much smaller operation. Where I worked out of Harrisburg, there was a lot more volume going out of there. So going to Palm Beach not only was nice to go to Florida, but it was also a huge downgrade as far as work stress. It was so much easier for me because I experienced more. It's just a lot busier out of Pennsylvania than it was in Palm Beach. Places like Fort Lauderdale and Miami and stuff were much busier, bigger like hubs than Palm Beach. Greg Master said, fiestas are crazy in the Philippines. I've been in 10 strangers' homes just to eat. Oh, that's never happened in the U.S. Yeah, I'm always invited. I mean, even the security guards I've met, hey, they exchange Facebook information. They invite me to come visit them at their house. That's just humbling. Like I said, yeah, I didn't experience, I was invited by friends randomly that I've known for years and years back in the States. Here, I've known them maybe a month, and I only talk to them when I'm going by them. Some days when I'm doing a live, or not doing a live stream, I'll stop and talk to them. But here, it's just, you don't even have to know them very long. They just, want to be your friend. And yeah, definitely something I didn't experience. Not like that in the States. I had friends, but it's different here. Did you become a Florida man? People that fight off gators. I only ever saw, I think, 1 or 2 alligators the whole time I lived in Florida. One was like in a water drainage retention kind of area, and then I think one other one was like at an alligator park zoo place. That's it. I saw a lot of snakes in Florida. More snakes in Florida than I haven't seen one snake here, which is crazy because I thought I'd see a lot of snakes while living here in the Philippines. Matthew is here. Hey, Matthew, I knew you'd catch me one of these days. How you doing, Matthew? TC said, did you just pass by a Toyota van? That was 89s. Yeah, there's a lot of those little vans. I don't know if it was a Toyota. I see Suzuki's around as well. It's kind of like this red one. I don't know if that's a Suzuki, but some of them look like a van and they kind of cut the back part off, and yeah, that's a Suzuki. And they turn it into like a little, almost looks like a little pickup truck. Well, here's a Suzuki too. That's another Suzuki van. I see a lot of the Suzukis around. Stretch says, drinking beers in Australia, brother. Have a great day. Thank you, Stretch11, for being here in Dumaguete, Philippines. And happy Valentine's Day to anybody and everybody. Whether you're in a relationship, married, or single, or whatever. Just happy Valentine's Day. And there's Chief. I see Chief. Maybe you got bumped earlier and now you're back, but hello, Chief, again. Mindanao has man-eating crocodiles. It's terrifying, especially in swamps. I haven't seen any crocodiles yet, which is probably a good thing. I'm just surprised I haven't seen any snakes. Good for you, Matthew. I'm glad to hear from you too. I know you've had some bad luck missing my live streams, but it's okay. You're here now. And again, if anybody's new to my channel, my name's Michael, born and raised in Pennsylvania, United States, the majority of my life. With the exception of 2 years, I lived in Florida. Living abroad here in Dumaguete, Philippines, out for my walk, my daily walk, 10 miles a day. I don't get all 10 miles done while I'm doing a live stream. I have to walk too slow to get that done. Hey, Zeus, get me the 100. Thank you very much. That's like a little Valentine's gesture. Thank you, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. I don't know how you pronounce that. Could be one of two ways. Appreciate it. And then we got Dave Traveled. This is a good stream by Cute Drift. He is handsome and attractive. Only you, Dave, Mr. Dave Traveled. Always so nice. Complimenting me. Appreciate it. Zach's Exploration says, how easy is it to move to the Philippines? In my opinion, I guess overall right now I could say it was easy. Maybe in the beginning, I was a little intimidated at first, just because I'd never been that far away from home. So that was probably the brief moment of like feeling insecure, like, man, am I making a good decision or a bad decision? Not knowing anybody, a little nervous, flying halfway around the world. But now, once I did it, I was like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. So I, guilty of overthinking something, worrying about something, making it worse than it really was. Best decision I ever did, though. Hadn't I come here, I wouldn't have experienced what I experienced, and then allowed myself to learn and basically ultimately enjoy and love the Philippines. But like I always tell people, it's about the people here that make it so special. Everything else is just secondary. The weather, the islands you could travel to, the ocean. I just love the warm weather. That's the biggest thing for me. Sunshine, Occasionally you get hit with some rain, but it's all good now. TC, like someone asked me that before, what don't I like the most? There's nothing that I don't really like. I guess there's things that are different and then you just adapt to it. I guess a lot of the hardest thing for anybody, maybe when they first come here, I'm not saying this is for everybody, you just have to learn to be more patience, I guess. But once you get that and you just remove that stress from your life, like I don't know, getting a tricycle. You'll get there when you get there. You forget about, oh my gosh, you're stuck and you're sitting and you're waiting. You just forget that kind of stuff. And there's no point, you end up stressing yourself out. Derek says your brother should bring your mom and dad. My dad could probably make the trip, Derek. My mother, I don't think so. She just needs too much extra special attention, care. I don't think she could handle that. It would be like, and maybe if they had a private jet, maybe that would be something that would be doable. Yeah, she just has a lot of special needs, and like I said, thank God for my brother. But I think my dad could handle it. But my mom, I think that would be difficult for her. What time do you see the restaurant open for breakfast? What restaurant is that? Derek Jones says, how much has your diet changed since you moved there? I guess it's in regards to my diet. The hardest thing is probably having access to certain things that I ate in the States that I can't get here. A lot of stuff I could get on Amazon, but the problem with that I've learned on Amazon here, if it's food related stuff, they won't ship it here to the Philippines. Anything that's food, even from pumpkin seeds to, or I just organic granola I would eat at home with coconut sugar. Like there's certain foods that I just can't get here. So I'm kind of not eating things that I wish I could have incorporated into my diet here that I did at home. I do eat a lot more cabbage here though, which is fine. I don't mind cabbage, like coleslaw-like kind of things, but I definitely know here I've lost more weight living here than I did in the States. Just less opportunities for higher carb, calorie, fattening foods. Not that I had a bad diet in the States, I just think I'm even much more selective because there's just somewhat less options to a degree. See, Lewis, you say you can ship anything. Well, there's certain things I pick on Amazon to get here, and pumpkin seeds, certain food. Anytime it's a food product, it says I can't ship it to the Philippines. I guess if I got an LBC container or something like that back in the States and loaded up some sort of container, but like from Amazon to here, it won't let me do it. It says you're in the Philippines. Sorry, this transaction can't be made. Nothing yet for dinner. Don Runyon says, more fatty food here. Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong though, they do have fast food here. They have McDonald's, they have donut shops, Dunkin' Donuts, Jollibee. Like they have stuff that's, fattening or maybe not the best ingredients, but I don't eat any of that stuff. Very, very, I'd have to be somewhere completely hungry and no other option. And I've never been put in that position. Yeah, that's what I meant, Lewis. Yeah, I would need somebody to like basically get me like an LBC container. And I don't even know if I have those options in Pennsylvania. I don't know where there's an LBC location in Pennsylvania that I could literally go there, load up a container. I don't know where I'd have that option. Because when I looked up LBC briefly while I was still in the United States, they showed maybe a shipping facility for LBC was in DC area or something like that. I'm like, I'm not driving the whole way to DC just so I can ship a container. It just wasn't convenient. Yeah, and I eat a lot of vegetables. Yeah, I'm all about cucumbers, tomatoes, cabbage. You can find some good green leaf lettuce here. Definitely probably eat more fruit than I ever ate. Not that I didn't eat fruit in the States, but I eat more here. More vegetables and more fruit, definitely. And then meat is chicken, fish, uh, ground beef. I don't really get steak much. I'm more of a ground beef kind of guy. Uh, if I would eat steak, the last time I had steak, that was back in the States and I had ribeye. I don't mind ribeye steak, but here, I don't really, I haven't made steak. I haven't had steak since I've been here in the Philippines, and I don't miss it. As long as I have ground beef to mix it up. I do miss an occasional cheese steak. That would be nice. Delmonico steak, like the cheesesteak places, obviously, that you could get that in the U.S. At least my options here in Dumaguete or Bacolod, I've never found like a true awesome cheesesteak place. Linda Whitaker says, I think I would love the diet out there. Yeah, like I said, you definitely become, it's not hard to be more disciplined here when it comes to diet because your options are a lot lower. But you can find, I call it the junk food stuff, American junk food. You can find it here. They have it. But I don't drink soda. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke cigarettes. But yeah, I definitely lose weight. You throw in my walking, and then probably my carb intake is very low. So yeah, for me, it's very easy to not gain weight, I guess. What is that white window building? You mean right here? That's a bank. That's BPI Bank. And this is Unitop store. Mac Perez says, "Can you get ribeye steaks?" I've never even really looked, but my favorite steak is a ribeye, and that's why I brought it up. The last time I had a steak was at home in USA, and ribeye is typically what we would eat for dinner. My brother at my parents' house would make ribeye steaks. Sweet Caroline says, LBC is in DC area, New Jersey. Yeah, see, and that's what I thought. I was disappointed, actually surprised that that wasn't an option in Pennsylvania. I don't know, you would just think Pennsylvania would have an LBC facility. But so you're right, yeah, DC area and New Jersey. Thank you, Sweet Caroline. So for me, I don't know, would it be worth it to drive to New Jersey from where I lived in central Pennsylvania, or drive to Washington, D.C., just to load up a container one time and then get it 2 months later with dry food kind of stuff? Maybe, I guess. But for now, I don't know when I'm going back to the U.S. anyway, but I might go back in July. My mom's kind of hinted that she misses me, and so I might go home in July for a month. I told them the only time I would come visit them is when it's warm, summertime in Pennsylvania. I'm not gonna go warm here and then cold there. Hey, Thomas says, howdy neighbor Mike, I'm going to move into the marina for 2 to 3 weeks before I leave. See you, mate. All right, Thomas, that's good to hear. So you'll be a neighbor. You will be a neighbor. It's Breezy. He says, can you go try it? I don't know. Sorry, I missed that. Hold on. Jeff Virgil says, hello, Mike. Looks like another. Yeah, it is nicer today. Clouds in and out, but definitely no rain like it's been. There's been a lot of rain. Che is saying happy Valentines to Art Park, and hello Art Park. Sorry if I didn't see you. She says, Miss Che, what are you cooking today? Uh, we did that trip from Duncan, Pennsylvania to Maryland, very close to CC. It's not that bad. All right. Well, maybe I'll look into that. And like I said, it would be something, well, if I do the LBC thing, I'd have to, like, within the first week of going back to the States, I'd have to do that right away, because I would only plan on staying in the States for a month. If I'm going to travel that far to go back home, I'm only going to go for a month, at least a month, because that's too far to travel. I'm not going for 2 weeks and turning right back around. So yeah, if I go to the States, it's going to be for a month. That is, the ambulance just passed. It might have been TC. Sorry, I didn't notice. The area you're walking looks clean. Where you at? Joe Regional or Joseph? It's Dumaguete, Philippines. That's where I'm at. Dumaguete, Philippines. Hey, hello, sir. Amping. Yeah, fly to Vegas. Yeah. And that would, I mean, I guess if I did that, I'd have to literally buy everything on Amazon in the States, have it shipped to where I was at, and then just load it all up into a container. Because I definitely would need, if I'm going to do a container, I know it's an unlimited weight. I would definitely put a lot in it. Big Mike says, how long does it take to get regular mail or medicine? Well, I don't get mail sent here because I really don't have any mail. And I don't get medicine sent here because I'm not on any medicine. So that question I really can't answer. I would think that container would be expensive to ship. Well, what I've heard, Linda, somebody, expat foreigner here said it's like, I don't know, $70 to $80, no weight limit. That's what he said. And it takes almost 2 months for it to get here. So it can't, you know, you wouldn't want something that you'd need right away. I would, John Paul Floyd. This is Dumaguete, Philippines, John Paul. Dumaguete, Philippines. Feels good here, the wind's blowing. Linda says, no way. Yeah, that's what they said, like $80. But I don't know. Within the last year, they told me that. Oh, there you go. Derek says an LBC box is about $70 to $80. All right. TC says, what are the big boats? I mean, I can zoom in on it as best as I can. There's that one. And then there's that one. That's it. And then you can see the ones over there. EZQ95 says hello from Tampa. Welcome from Tampa. You're in Dumaguete, Philippines, because that's where I'm at. From United States, but living abroad here in Dumaguete, Philippines. John said, I grew up on Mindanao. Well, welcome. Linda says, I sent a box from Virginia to Arizona and it cost me $50. Derek says 2 to 3 months. Yeah, that's what I heard. They said at least 2 months, $80. Joseph Reginald says, I'm from Canada. Been here for almost 4 years now. Happily married here back in 2019. Well, congratulations. And yes, I love it here in Dumaguete, Philippines. Unusual says, enjoy it. Chief says, Linda, that's wild. Best thing about the Philippines, man, there's so many. Honestly, the best thing about the Philippines is the people. I say that over and over again. It's the people, especially here in Dumaguete. That's what makes it special, the locals. They're so nice here, so welcoming, so humble. And Art Park Garden says LBC large box. Any weight from Canada to Philippines is 100 to 120, depending if there's specials, usually 90 days for sea freight. Chief says, Linda, I'm from West Virginia. All right, I'll say happy Valentine's Day to Annie. Happy Valentine's Day, Annie. I hope you have a special day. Enjoy it. Happy Valentine's Day, Annie from Dumaguete. Chosen, no, I did not fart. Maybe that's wind, that's not breaking wind. Linda says, Roanoke, Virginia now, Lake Havasu, Arizona. Have you met Sigmund? No, I haven't met Sigmund. Tara Pust says, hi from Indiana, moving to Cebu in 5 years. Sounds like you got a plan. Linda says, back and forth a few times, but born in DC. Greg says, he's also in Arizona. Chief says, much love and respect, brother. Much love to you, my friend. Glad you're here. Haven't seen you in a while, but it's always good when you check in just to let me know that you're doing okay. Heartland, no. Steve says, hello, Michael from Maui. Stephen Davis, another person from Hawaii. Welcome from Hawaii. LBC does have specials. Yeah, best thing about the Philippines, like I said, are the people. Say something in the Philippines language. Well, I know a little bit. And good morning is Mayong Buntag. Good afternoon from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. is Mayong Muto. After 1 p.m. until it gets dark is Mayong Hapon. Once it gets dark, it's Mayong Gabi. If you say you're welcome in Bisaya, it is Walay Sapayan. If you say thank you, it's Salamat. Obviously, if you say someone's handsome or beautiful, for a girl, it's guapa. For a boy, it's guapo. Those are some of the things I know. MM says, I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida. Well, welcome from Florida. Chief says, I called last night. I will call again after your live. Yeah, I saw that you called me, Chief, and then I called you back, but you didn't answer. And that's okay, though. But if you haven't given me a like, I appreciate a like. Double tap the screen. Likes help my channel grow. Messy Goat says, how many countries you have been to and can you rank them? I haven't been many places. I do want to go to Japan someday. I'd have to say the best country I've ever visited outside the United States is here in the Philippines. It's okay, Chief, no worries. Once I saw you called, I was doing something. I don't know if I was eating. I was doing something, and then I went to call you back. I sent you a message and called you back, but you didn't answer. Hunt Bar, yes, I have sunscreen on, mostly on my face. Natural zinc sunblock. MM says Filipino women are beautiful. Yes, they are. All the people here are beautiful. Big Mike, is there a VA medical facility there? I know there's medical facilities. I don't know about VA medical facilities. Ron Greer says, everyone please give Mike a like. Thank you, Ron. Linda says, do people speak English? Yeah, they speak English here. That's one of the convenient things that a lot of people like about the Philippines is the language, the English language. Messy Goat says, Japan is magical, especially at night. Yeah, I've always just had a thing for Japan. Someday I hope to visit while I'm here in the Philippines. It would be much less expensive for me from here to Japan. Sorry about the wind. I'm sure it's like really picking up. Feels good to me. Sweet Caroline says, I think there's a VA hospital in Manila. Linda Winokur says, helps a lot. go to Singapore. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. But yeah, Hunt Bar sunscreen. Natural zinc. The brand name is called, it's called Badger Sunblock. Badger. Natural sunscreen sunblock. Joseph Reginald says, we are in Rosario, Batangas. MM says, I love Cuba. Samantha says, hello. MM says, Cuba is nice. Rosa Ramirez says, hello. So yeah, they do speak English here, Linda. And if they don't, they certainly, if they don't speak it as well, they definitely understand English, you know. TC says, are you going night market shopping? I like to see the environmental areas live. I've done night ones. I don't usually do night live streams a lot. I have on occasion. Maybe someday again I'll try a night live, but I haven't done one in a while. I think I did it last time was like for New Year's Eve. We were here for the fireworks and stuff. Connie says, happy Valentine's Day, Michael from Fishers, Indiana. Dead Rabbit says, night market, try that. I'll think about maybe trying to do a live stream at night sometime. But I know, depending on where you live, there could be a time discrepancy depending on where you are. Connie says, oh, I did see that one. What's the most fun things to do in the Philippines? It doesn't take a lot for me to be entertained, to be fun. Simply walking and doing my exercise. Sunshine, obviously, I prefer that over the rain. We've had a lot of rain lately. Just being like embracing and being around a different culture of people, that's what I probably enjoy the most. That's fun to me. I mean, then when the opportunity presents itself to travel, I'll, you know, obviously do that. But yeah, like if you're a warm weather person, messy goat, it's traveling, being outdoors. That's what I just prefer warm weather all year round. 80 degrees and 90 degrees all year round. Ron says it's midnight here. So you must be, it's 1 a.m. in Pennsylvania, so you must be one time zone over. David is here, says, I love it in the Philippines. Me too. Michael Hunter said there's one in Subic Bay Naval Base, VA clinic, I think. All right, there you go. Ron Greer's in Arkansas. All right, that explains why it's midnight for you. Linda says, so what would you say it would take in US dollars to live there for a month? Like how far with American money, obviously transferred to Filipino money? I hope that made sense. No, it makes sense. And I think the consensus of people that I've spoken with, and this isn't just my opinion, I think the average, if you're here by yourself, or even if you're with a partner, people have said if you have 1,000 to 1,200 USD, you could be fine here. But again, it depends on your tastes and what extravagant things you need, how much, what's good enough. Maybe if you're eating out every day, maybe that changes. But it seems like the consensus says 1,000 to 1,200 or 1,200 to 1,500. And if you're at 2,000, you're doing really good. Ron Greer says, I'm your new Ozark hillbilly friend. Joseph, or I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Joe or Joe Reginald says, I have to thank you. I've subscribed now. Have to laugh. My friends say it's cold here now in Rosario. Yeah, even sometimes my girlfriend thinks it's cold at night here when it's in the high 70s, and she thinks that's chilly. Certainly not for me. TC says, I have personal questions for you. Oh boy. Not all personal questions I'd answer, but David says, lived in Springfield, Missouri, USA for 17 years. Just Joe. Okay, Joe. I was thinking JOS might be short for Joseph, so that was a good guess. David says, close to the Ozarks. Linda Winokur, she says, not extravagant at all. See, that's another thing that I've learned being here. I was materialistic in the US, product of my environment, whatever you want to blame it on. Work, 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 then go spend money, go spend money, go spend money, and then just accumulate things in my house. Here I could care less if I really owned a whole lot of anything. I just definitely have become less materialistic here in the Philippines, and I feel like I'm much happier. Whereas when I was buying materialistic things in the United States, I would call that buying things temporary happiness. Michael Hunter says, I got a 1 a.m. here. 3 things you are grateful for. Wow. Good question, Messy Goat. 3 things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my health. First and foremost, I'm grateful for my health. Blessed for my health. I'm grateful to have the opportunity and blessed to be here right now. And I'm grateful for my mother and father. Those would be the 3 things. My health, being here, having the opportunity to be here, and having the mother and father, my parents, that made me who I am today. That would be right off the top of my head, the 3 things that I'm grateful for. Linda Winokur says, that's why I think that the less you have, the happier you are. Yeah, that's the way I feel. But again, maybe not for everybody. I always try to make sure and remind everybody, just because things that make me happy, that doesn't mean it's going to make you happy. It might, but that doesn't mean it will. Have you been to Fiji? No, I haven't been to Fiji. SFN Mechanic says, I want to let you know I've been dealing with a cold since the last time I've been on here. Still not feeling the best. I'm not sure what happened to me. The doctor sent all my records to a specialist. Well, I hope you feel better, and I'm sorry to hear that. Messy Goat says, God bless you and bless your parents. Thank you. I appreciate that question. Code Lucky says, can't believe you're 63. I'm not 63. Don't be making me older than what I am yet. I'm only 55. I am 55. Code Lucky. 55 years young, 55 years of age, 55 years old. I will be 56 on April 6th. That's my birthday. But I appreciate that, Code Lucky. Yeah, I look young for, definitely probably look young for 63, but yeah, I'm 55. Code Lucky says you look 37. Well, I'd say genetics, my parents, diet, don't drink, don't smoke, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure that all that stuff has a lot to do with everything. Sweet Caroline's laughing. But I hope you guys don't mind. I just 55. You look extremely younger, says Messy Goat respectfully. Probably all the walking I do, exercise, diet. Again, no drinking, no smoke. It's been over 20 years since I've had alcohol. But I was only ever a social drinker, like, I guess, peer pressure drinker. It wasn't like when I quit, like it was hard or anything like that, like difficult. I just said, all right, I'm not going to drink anymore. Says, I hope to get healthy soon, been taking it easy. One day I'll get better and be there too, enjoying. Well, that's good. Have a plan. You can be a cool sugar daddy. I wouldn't even say I'm a sugar daddy. I'm definitely not rich, far from it. But I appreciate that, Code Lucky. Again, if you haven't given me a like and you are interested in giving me the generous double tap the screen, give me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. Like I said, I'm here at the boulevard sitting down now. Kind of went through most of the comments, I think. And I apologize if I did miss any, but miss any. Like I said, Leah USA Chick said, have I been to Fiji? And that's no. Kind of going back through here if I missed any. I don't see any more. Sweet Caroline says, yeah, not 63. No, not yet. Not yet. Someday. Probably get here quicker than I wanted to, but that's life. The older you get, the faster it goes. Mermaid Muncher says, hi, Mike. Hello, Mermaid. Code Lucky says, it's a beautiful day out. Enjoy, mate. Thank you. Tom Zach 132. Stephen Davis says, I always say to myself, I'm not old, I'm getting older. There's a difference. Yeah, and you know, you're only as old as you feel. I guess I'm thankful that I still haven't had any moments where I have, like, a lot of people, not everybody, that 55-year-olds that I met, they have a lot of aches and pains or physical, like, inflammation and stuff like that. I don't really feel that, not yet, which is a blessing. So I'm thankful, like I said, for my health. MNLRT says, hi, Mike, hello. Hunt Bar says, have you had the need for medical checkups or the need to see a medical? Nope, I've been lucky in that department, Hunt Bar. How much for you to eat balut? Oh, geez, Chief. I know someday I have to do the balut challenge. But yeah, whenever I try balut, I'm gonna do that with Che. She'd probably be upset if I tried balut without her. TC says, if you got any cold flus lasting for a few weeks. I haven't had any flu-like things here. The only thing that happened to me here, and I think a part of that was probably because, this is just my theory, growing up and living in the United States all my life, Pennsylvania for all my life, and then Florida for 2 years. Those are the only climates I was ever exposed to. Then coming to the Philippines where it's warm all the time, exposed to different things over here. The one time I got like an allergy-like thing, like drainage, and then felt like my ears were clogged for a couple weeks. But I didn't go to the doctors. I didn't get any medicine. I just let myself heal naturally. And then it eventually went away. It was kind of annoying for a few weeks. Natural immunity had to kick in, and that's what I did. But I haven't had any like flu or fever, like anything like that. Just that. But I'm sure it had a lot to do with this being in a different climate, exposed and adapting. So hopefully I went through it once, so my immune system is now familiar with that. I just get plenty of sunshine. That's what I always tell people. Hold on. I saw. What is the symbol on your cap stand for? TC. Basically, this cap company is called King and Fifth. They make trucker hats with the mesh, but it's more of a custom hat. It's the snapback hat, but a lot of those cargo hats sit real high, trucker style. These are more close to your head, that way you don't have to pull it down very low. I don't know why they have 11 on there, but it's King and Fifth is the company. It's like my favorite hat. I only have one here. Can't get that on Amazon either. I'll have to get some other caps when I go back to the States. But yeah, that's the brand name. Steven says garlic, garlic, garlic with lemon. That ginger, I was drinking ginger, calamansi with calamansi juice. Squeeze them little, I call them little mini limes with honey, ginger, water. That seems to do the trick. David asked me if I was in the military. A lot of people ask me that. No, I haven't been in the military, but I feel like that's a very humbling question because I have a lot of respect for the men and women service members of the military. They're my true heroes. Other than my mother and father, my parents, it's the people in the military. I tell that I meet a lot of people, obviously here, retired, former military here in the Philippines, but a lot of people I've met feel as if maybe I was in the military. They say the way you carry yourself, but that's their way. They're out of my league, people in the military, but much respect to the men and women. You always have a place to stay here in the States, says Chief. I appreciate that. TC, sorry about the wind. I'm probably going to be concluding this live stream anyway. I'm at like 120 minutes anyway. So I appreciate you guys and girls, men, women, Filipinas, Filipinos, everybody for being here, joining me for the live. I apologize for the wind. Apologize earlier for the technical difficulties when I kind of lost you guys during the live stream. But thank you, Chief. I always have a place in West Virginia. When I moved, Linda says, when I move someone place to another, I tried to get local honey for a while, natural immunity. Yeah, I wish I missed the raw honey from the farms that I would get in the U.S. Sometimes there's certain things it's difficult to get. Thank you, Ron Greer. Good night to you guys as well. Again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for always being here for my live streams. Today's Saturday here, so hopefully Monday I'll be doing another live stream as long as the weather is ideal. We'll see what Monday brings. But have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're at. Again, thank you guys for always being here and supporting my channel. Hope to see you guys all again soon. God bless all of you. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll be better than that. Get well soon, mobile mechanic. Rosa Ramirez says goodbye. Yeah, Linda, I'm in the future. 13 hours ahead of the East Coast anyway, from Eastern Standard. Have a good day, good night. Thank you. See you guys soon. Thanks a lot. See you, Sonny Boy, Messy Goat. See you guys. Thank you.